right now. Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
All right, thanks for sticking around for the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. I'm Rich Walsh, and I'll be joined by Mark Kaboly in a matter of moments. And we're taking your phone calls tonight at 412-575-2600. There he is right there. And Mark, big win for the Pirates. Bullpen almost blow it again. 8-6 they won, but they lost the first two against Cleveland. I mean, Colorado, sorry. Can't even believe I said Cleveland, but out in Colorado against the worst team in the majors. You can't score any runs. You need to score runs, and everyone else can score runs in Colorado except for the Pirates. They have the bases loaded. They have runners in scoring position the last couple games, and they can't get them in. You saw me show highlights of what happened last night. I didn't like the call, and maybe it was the right call because he clipped the glove, but he was past the ball and past the runner, inside the lane. I thought it was a bad call. They should have let it go, let this go into extra innings. I hate to see a team lose like they did yesterday, but you know what? They got the win here today, but you have to do something with this bullpen because it was an 8-1 lead, and they scored 5 runs to make it 8-6.
Yeah, I mean, as for last night, I mean, it's a terrible rule, but the rule's the rule. I mean, as long as he clips it, I hate him making that call.
He was ahead of it, though.
Understand
and
it.
The guy was coming in on the ball.
You can blame the rule. Don't blame the umpire.
I'm going to blame both.
I mean, did it affect the play? Absolutely not. It should have been tied. It should have been. I mean, they still had bases loaded at that point. Maybe 2 runners on. They could have easily won that game right there. And that's just when things happen to go bad, it goes bad. And that happened in Colorado when you're only averaging a couple runs today. But the bullpen did struggle again today. You thought that was 8-1 in the 7th?
Yeah.
That they had their chances to go and have an easy win. And even though they won and they took took 1 out of 3 out of in the series, you have to feel a little bit disheartened by the way it went down because they were a swing away from going to extra innings in that game as well. So they have to do something here with this bullpen. They just can't continue to let it work itself out. We've seen months and months of it's not going to work its way out. They have to do something.
So they're 39-39. They're 500. I mean, they're in the mix for one of those 3 wild card spots, but so are 9 teams. I just thought this was a disappointing road trip because you want to sweep a team like the Rockies. Seems like everyone does, or wins 2 out of 3. And you end up being 3-3 on this 6-game road trip. I know, if you're playing 500 on the road, that's good, but you got to win games at home too. So now you have, you're starting a 6-game homestand right now where you're playing a division opponent at the end of it. You have Seattle and then Cincinnati. Yeah. So, I mean, you got to do better than 3-3. 500 ball is not going to get you into the postseason.
The problem with that too, Rich, is there's 2 wins on this road trip that they could have won, should have won. I mean, they shouldn't have lost that game in Oakland, wherever it was, Sacramento, where they lost late in that game too. And you could have said yesterday's game they could have lost too as well. But they have to bounce back. They're a 500 team right now, but you just don't know where they're going to go right now. It's surprising to me, Rich, that they are a 500 team. Consider all the things that they've had to put up with. I mean, Skeens hasn't been great. He's been good, above average, hasn't been great. The rest of their starting lineup has struggled. They've had injuries. They've had poor base running. They've had, interesting calls by the manager, and they're still sitting at 500 right now. Kind of surprising, but they have to be able to put together a big win streak here to be able to offset some of this. I think they're just a 500 team up and down. I just hope when it's not too late when Cruz comes back and maybe Griffin comes back, even if Griffin does come back here within the next week or so.
Everyone's hoping Cruz will be back in a month, I guess, right? That was a 4 to 6 week thing, fractured bone in his left hand. Connor Griffin probably could DH soon, but you're going to need his arm. You need him in the field. But you also need his bat, and obviously not having those 2 bats is going to hurt them. But, the biggest thing that hurts this team right now is not scoring runs for Paul Skeens. Mm-hmm. He hasn't won his last 7 starts. The Pirates haven't won his last 7 starts. He's 6-7 overall. And his ERA looks good. He's still, a dominating pitcher. I guess you could say he's still one of the elite pitchers, but, his pitch count is getting up there. That you got to use the bullpen. I mean, he's getting to 6 innings. This guy should be getting into the 7th inning. They're not getting enough out of him.
Well, I don't think it's his problem. I think it's, as you said, I think the other teams are basically changing the way they approach him. They're trying to make him throw more pitches. They want him to get to that 9,500 pitch count by the sixth inning. Does that mean that Skeens then has to pitch more to contact, which is not his strength? I mean, you want the guy who can throw 97, 98, 99 with a sweeper. And
how about 102, 101? Where are those pitches? He hasn't thrown 100 miles an hour yet.
Yeah, I mean, that has to be something to worry about if you're not hitting that velocity, and we're in, middle of June right now. What's going to happen in August? I just hope they don't shut him down or anything, that he might have some arm tiredness, but I don't think that's the case. I think there's just a different approach because it's backed up behind they know if other teams know if they get to the bullpen, they're in trouble.
Well, yeah. I hope there's not any thinking of shutting him down, because Mitch Keller should be shut down before him. And then you have Jared Jones might miss a start. Who knows what's going to happen with that right elbow injury. Then you're going to have to move Carmen Majinski back in the starting rotation, which is good, but it's going to weaken your bullpen. All right, don't forget about our Penn West University question of the night. Just scan that QR code in your right-hand corner of your screen. Should the Pirates put Carmen Majinski back in the starting rotation? Right now, our viewers are saying 80% yes, 20% no. That would hurt the bullpen, though, if you brought him back in the starting rotation. I don't know what you would do. Got to go out and get a bullpen arm. We'll talk about that after the break. Coming back, 412-575-2600. Welcome back to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. This is our tweet of the night from Xfinity from Codify Baseball. 2026 Milwaukee Brewers playoff chances, 31% on April 24th, 95% right now. The Brewers are just a force. They're good every year, unlike the Pirates, who you thought were going to be good this year, and you were hoping they're going to be good, and there's still a chance. I'm not giving up. I still have Bucko fever. But, you know, they got to solve some problems. And, Mark, I know we talk about it tonight on the Ireland Contracting Night. Not Ireland, we are talking. This is the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call, but the #1 Cochrane Sports Showdown. They have to make a move now. And I don't know what your opinion on it. You might have to pay more now, but at least you can go and get the guys you want. I don't mind that. I don't know what they have to give up. You don't really want to give up a major league player, but there are some that you could give up if someone will take them. But if you're giving up a low-level prospect to someone in, single A, double A, something like that high A, I would do it.
Yeah, it's probably going to come from the minor leagues. And why is everybody against being the first to make the trade? I mean, you could pretty much have your pick of the litter right there. I mean, I would dip down into the minor league, into the system somewhere. And if you're going all in like you seem to be doing this year with some of the offseason, all the money you spent in the offseason, and you're at 500, and you know there's the weaknesses, the bullpen, why wait? I know you might have to pay a tad bit more, but you know what? There's no guarantee with these even low A, high A players that they're going to turn into any sort of anything right now. Get rid of them. Do it now. By the time you do it in the trade deadline, it might be too late, Rich.
All right, let's go out to the phone lines. We got Steve out in Texas. How you doing, Steve?
Doing good, guys. Hey,
Thanks.
Here's the question I have. Is the Pirates coaching staff relying too much on sabermetrics for end-of-game decisions, since we've lost 9 games this year by 1 run and lost 7 games after leading after the 7th inning? And I got 2 examples from this weekend. First of all, Yohan Ramirez on Friday night throws 6 pitches, gets 4 outs, and he's taken out of the game due to 2 left-handed hitters. Are you kidding me? He's on a hot streak. Leave him in. We would have won that game. And then on Friday, Tyler Callahan, he strikes out with the bases loaded. Then on Saturday, he comes up with the bases loaded again, 1 out. I'm sorry, I want experience. I want Marcell Ozuna. He should have hit for him. And that's my question is, I think they're relying too much on the sabermetrics instead of their gut feelings.
You know what? I think so, too. But Donnie Kelly grew up kind of under Jim Leyland, and Jim Leyland was a field guy. But I do think this organization in general relies too much on analytics. There's no question about it. Sometimes, just like Steve said, you got to go with your gut. And I don't think that they do that a lot. Yeah, you want experience in a situation. They should have won that game yesterday, not only just tied it. You should have won it. Ryan O'Hearn strikes out, Tyler Callahan. Maybe you go with Ozuna. I understand that that's experience, but that guy's been struggling too. So it's a tough situation.
Absolutely, Rich. The sabermetrics, the analytics part, is part of the game, but you can get wrapped into up to that too much. I don't think it's that much to do with the Pirates of why they lost this weekend. I think a lot has to do with the 10 one-run games and all these blown saves they've had. I just don't think they've learned how to win yet as a young team that's been put together in the offseason like this. Maybe not young age-wise, but a lot of guys who haven't played together. And I just don't think that they have learned how to win. I mean, there's a dozen games on the top of your head you could just say, Rich, man, how did they lose this game? And when you're in a playoff race like that, that's going to come back and bite you. And you're going to look at the end of the season and say, there's about 7, 8, 9, 10 games that they should have won that's going to cost them a playoff spot.
Yeah, Santana, what happened to that guy? The bullpen has cost them at least 15 games this year, which is why they're 500 right now. Let's go out to Bob in Pittsburgh. How you doing, Bob?
I'm good. How you doing, guys? Happy Father's Day to both of you.
Thank you. Happy Father's Day to you as well.
Thank you. I just want to say something. I don't know if you believe in karma. Like when they didn't bring back McCutchen, I think that, karma's coming back to them now. So I'll get off and I'll listen to you.
Look, I get the karma thing, and sometimes, I mean, obviously I'm superstitious, and I know people are, and, I don't know what it is, but I think a lot of people were rooting for McCutchen to come back, but I think this organization was ready to move on for him. I think they were ready to move on from him last year as well, but they gave him one more year. And you saw what happened with McCutchen in Texas this year. It was probably the right thing to do, but you did pay Ozuna $12 million, so you're expecting bigger things from him, but luckily it's only a one-year deal.
Yeah. I mean, I don't hear too many people were complaining after they signed Ozuna that McCutchen was going to be the missing piece. Like you said.
He's not. He's old. If it was a younger guy, I could see it.
Yeah, it's always tough, though. He is the face of the franchise, was the face of the franchise, even though he made a bunch of other stops somewhere else. He's always will be a Pirate, so you don't want to see those guys go, especially when he wanted to be around here. But if Ozuna bats more than his weight, nobody's talking about McCutchen at all right now, to be honest with you.
But you also want to turn over that locker room. I know you and I are in the Steelers locker room all the time, but sometimes a locker room turnover, clubhouse in baseball, you need that. And I'm not saying anything bad against McCutchen, but you just need fresh faces, fresh voices,
but
and
Rich,
new leaders.
We're not just talking about learning how to win, knowing how to win.
Yeah.
Maybe it's worth having McCutchen around just for that, too.
You might be right. Let's go out to Tom in Crafton. How you doing, Tom?
Hey, thanks, Rich. Happy Father's Day to both you and Mark.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Tom. You too.
Sure. The first caller pretty much stole most of my thunder, but, in sports, the good teams will always find a way to win, and it seems to me that the Pirates, as of late, especially Saturday's game, they seem to find a way to lose or just gum it up. But getting to Don Kelly and his pitching changes or whatever, was it Friday night? Bubba Chandler, he took him out after 6 innings. He only threw 74 pitches. Did anybody ask Kelly what the issue was? Why did he remove him, after just 6 innings? Let the guy go.
Yeah.
Was he hurt? Did anybody get any comment?
No, he's not hurt. No. I didn't listen to the post game with that, but yeah, 74 pitches. You want to see these guys throw 100, but I get it because he's a young arm. You want to get this guy throughout the entire season, Mark. But I see Tom's point.
Yeah,
it's just mismanaging or maybe overmanaging or overcoaching, right?
Yeah, or the analytics comes in and says you get to this amount of pitches on this day, then that's when we're taking you out. And I mean, us old coots don't really believe in that, right?
Yeah.
We were where we threw 120 pitches and come back in 3 or 4 days and do the same thing, but it's a different ball game right now. That's what I'm curious of. I mean, with Donnie Kelly, does he make these decisions, or are these decisions provided to him and saying, hey, he only gets 75 pitches tonight because X, Y, and Z? I mean, I don't think we'll ever figure that out, but that's be a question to be out there. You
would hope that he makes the decisions, but I'm sure Ben Cherington chimes in. I'm sure that has a lot to do with it. Ownership, I don't know. President, I don't know. I would imagine it goes between Cherington and Kelly, how you're managing these situations. But The fact that they took Carmen Majewski out of the rotation kind of boggled my mind a little bit. I understand that Jared Jones might be a higher profile, higher ceiling type pitcher, but Majewski was a first-round pick too. Bubba Chandler maybe needed to go to the bullpen at that point.
You're throwing everybody to the bullpen.
Yeah.
Keller missing the start, Jones missing the start.
Jared Jones, yeah, I don't know.
You still got that Bucko fever?
I do.
It's tough.
I do. Look,
they
got to stay
so
in the
good
mix
at
for the
times.
wild card. You got to stay in the mix for the wild card. You get Cruz back, you get Griffin back, your lineup's better, and then you add a couple arms at the deadline or close to it. Just hope it's not too late.
They
right?
look so good at sometimes and they get you really excited.
Yeah.
Then they slap you upside the face and they lose 4 in a row. And it's just very frustrating to watch sometimes.
Yeah, you lose to the Rockies, which is not good. You can't do that. You can't go to Colorado and lose. All right, we got to take a break. Back in a couple minutes. All right, welcome back to Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Con with Mark Kaboly here tonight. And I'm going to talk a little bit of Steelers here. We only have about a minute and a half left. And I want to ask you, what are the chances of them taking Brendan Sorsby in the supplemental draft? And who would take him and at what round?
I don't think they're going to take him. If it was like a first rounder, if it was like an Arch Manning type of guy, then yeah, I would throw my hat in the ring right there. The Steelers don't need another project quarterback, and that's what Sorsby is. He's a project. So, I mean, if you can get him for a 4th rounder, good, but he'll be way gone by then. I don't need Aller, Howard, and Sorsby on the roster this year, especially with 2 of them being a project.
Yeah, I mean, but McCarthy's a QB guru, right? I mean, would you take a shot and submit a 5th round bid for him?
Yeah, absolutely. I would throw something in there, but I'm not throwing 1, 2, or 3, and I'm sure a team like the Jets or the Browns or somebody like that will be really happy to give up a 2nd-round pick for the guy.
Yeah, we only have 20 seconds, but it would be hard to fit 5 quarterbacks on this roster right now. I don't know how you do that.
Yeah, especially if he's a project. He's not a guaranteed guy.
All right, thanks a lot, Mark. I appreciate it. We'll see you tonight on the #1 Cochran Sports Showdown. Hopefully we see you guys on KDK News in just a couple minutes.